forced savings accounts, you know, because of the discipline involved and the fact that they were sort of being asked to set aside money each day, and it was easier each week. It was sort of easier for them to save when they had sort of a plan. You know, how many of us grew up with, Christmas accounts? You know, our parents had Christmas accounts, or there were, you know, as an education account, or there were sort of these plans out there for people to save for a particular purpose, you know, and it feels like, you know, there's a bit of work to do around figuring out how one can build a series of products that fit in with our highly standardized approach to credit, but that actually are on the flip side. You know, they're highly standardized, contractual ways, disciplined ways people might have of setting aside deposit accounts. Seems like there's a bit of work to do on developing the kinds of savings products that people would find most useful. Building ways for those products to be lower cost, and putting them into the kinds of places that they'll be safe, right? Insurance. I mentioned it a little earlier. We don't really know much about insurance, I don't think. You know, I know there's a bunch of experiments out there, but it feels to me if we know, let's say, 100 about credit, we know 20 about savings. Insurance, you know, we know 5 or something. I don't know. It's, you know, we don't have anywhere near the accumulated experience with insurance that we have in any of the other products. And so I think one of the things we're going to do, and already have if you've been watching the RFPs we put out, is put a fair amount of money into figuring out whether insurance is a good deal for clients. We've been building the commercial case for microcredit for a long time, and we're trying to convince banks it's a good deal for them. It seems to me that insurance has different characteristics. Insurance only works if it's commercial, because you need the kind of scale and coverage that a nonprofit simply can't offer on its own. You know, insurance offered by a nonprofit with 20,000 members is not the kind of modern insurance anybody thinks is going to really solve the problem, right? It's okay for some pilot, it's okay to kind of figure some things out, but for insurance to work, it really needs to be at scale. For it to be at scale, it's got to be commercially based. So it feels kind of like if it's going to start to work at all, it's going to be commercial by definition. But the question I think that remains quite open in my mind, in our mind, is this a good deal for clients? And every time I see an insurance product being sold, it's a pretty hard sell. And I'm not really sure that clients quite get what it is, and I'm not sure they quite understand what the benefit is, and it kind of goes okay, and so they see some people get some benefits, somebody dies, you know, in the community, and they get their payment, okay, so they see that it's not a ripoff. But actually, I'm not sure, you know, when you look at the numbers, kind of how big an impact does it have, and is it really a good deal, and I'm not being skeptical, simply I'm not really sure. And what we tend to do in insurance, we talk about coverage. We say, okay, we've got 10 million lives covered or whatever, but that's not actually impact, right? And the impact is how many payouts get made, who gets the money, how much money is it, what can you do with the money, what kind of problem did it actually help you solve? And I think we really need to get out there and understand insurance, and we'll be doing that in a big way over the next few years. I mean, you know, for there to be enough payouts and incidents to actually get it, it's going to take some time. So we'll be in that space trying to figure it out. And then in credit, you know, we've got two sets of issues. One is sort of trying to develop credit products that are a lot more simple, perhaps, that are more suited to those big classes of people who don't have high return entrepreneurial activities, but need a short loan to pay a school fee or something.